Good evening, nerds, and welcome back to the Midnight Society. We're here to answer the question of the week. What gave you nightmares as a child? I'm J-Lo.
This is Amy.
And Sarah.
I'm William.
Holy shit!
Where the fuck did you come from? Donate to kids.
So this is, you know, as angry as I was when Sarah went rogue on this question, this actually gave me a lot of introspection about my life and what scared me.
I still hate thinking about it.
What gave you nightmares as a child? Amy, do you want to kick us off on this one?
You want to kick us off with this one? Well,
yeah, if you're ready.
This is going to sound weird, but I had a lot of nightmares about elephants going rogue and fucking everyone up. I was not afraid of elephants in real life. I didn't think about it very much, but I had multiple recurring dreams about an elephant that broke free at the circus and was running fucking wild on humanity, and we had to live in hiding from this elephant.
You know, I gotta wonder if this comes from heffalumps and woozles, heffalumps and woozles.
No, Sarah.
Okay.
Stop. I'm just kidding.
If I can be absolutely real for a second, that is something that happened. That happened in Hawaii. That happened during my lifetime in Hawaii.
Christ.
An elephant broke from their enclosure, went on a ramp. If I'm remembering correctly, I've got a little bit of history,
Jesus.
like a few years between when this happened and now. But an elephant killed its handler, broke out of the circus tent, and went on a rampage through the streets of Honolulu.
So,
don't live in Hawaii.
Well, don't live anywhere where people bring elephants, I guess. Like, Ringling Bros just stopped bringing elephants to a town near you, which is probably a good thing. Because apparently once in a while, they just decide that they've had enough and want to fuck you up and take over Hawaii. So that is why our senators from Hawaii are now elephants.
And an elephant noise is the result of that.
They are running the show now, is what I've come to understand. So
elephants are scary, we know. They're
shelter
huge.
in place, I think, is the advice. Who else would like to share about their childhood traumas? I mean, nightmares.
Eventually we all will, but...
Yeah. All right. Well, so I have two. One is animals, because I shared my room with my sister, and I was in the top bunk of the bunk bed. And so I was very close to the ceiling, and I would have these nightmares where the entire ceiling would be full of bees. So that meant if I woke up and I sat up to get out of bed, I would have to put my head in a ceiling of bees.
God, I had bug ceiling nightmares too.
Yeah, it's scary. But so the nightmares, sometimes still when I had the bunk bed and shared with my sister, but before that I had the room to myself, I would have nightmares within nightmares.
Oh my God.
So I would wake up from a nightmare to be alert and awake, but still within another nightmare, screaming because I could not leave my room because the door out of my room was blocked by the Scooby-Doo monsters. The whatever most recent Scooby-Doo monster. And the worst part is, I knew all the Scooby-Doo monsters were people and just wearing masks. But these ones, in my dreams within dreams, the masks didn't come off. And they were just there, so I would just scream and scream and scream for my parents, and then they would come through the door. I would wake up and the monster would be gone. And then when I went back to sleep, the monster would be back in front of the door.
I'm gonna say it. That sucks.
That sucks.
It was bad.
That sucks.
I never let my feet hang out of the covers, and I still don't. Let's just leave it there.
You do not want those Scooby-Doo monsters touching your toesies.
They can't touch my feetsies.
Were you animated in the dreams?
I was not. This was real life.
This is even worse.
So the monsters that were animated as people became real life people. So they would have genuine three-dimensional realistic characteristics.
That's pretty.
It's gross.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Well, what about you?
I'm imaginative.
So for those of you who don't know, new listeners to the podcast, Will is our guest for this Question of the Week episode, and will also be featured on our following episode about making
Making games.
competitive and tabletop card games. Do you want to just do like a quick intro and
Yeah.
before you tell us
Absolutely.
what scared the shit out of you?
So I'm William Hessian. I'm part of Hidden Ladder Games, the owner, and part of Hidden Ladder Collective as well. Excited to be here.
Awesome.
So I have the thing that has always scared me and still gives me nightmares is just death in general, dying.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That one's dark and goes on for a long time, so I'm not going to talk about that one. But the other one that I have that's probably the most vivid was the movie Tremors, specifically with Kevin Bacon running like along me in the stream. Only
Best friends.
yeah, best friends, of course. But actually, I remember very specifically the part where the girl gets tangled up in barbed wire and has to take her pants off, which I realized later that was like supposed to be like a kind of a sexual thing, but like it actually kept happening to Kevin Bacon in my dreams. which I wonder,
still a sexual
yeah,
thing.
well, now I'm looking back at my own dreams and being like, I wonder what that meant for me. But so I haven't actually analyzed this until now when I'm thinking about it.
That's what we're here for, Will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm scared.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me and opening my mind to these new possibilities. But it was so basically the tremor things would come up from the ground like they do in the movie, and they'd break through the bottom of the floor and eat me. But it was a tremor that was mixed, like crossbred with the Sarlacc from Star Wars.
Oh, fuck
so it was
yeah.
like the Sarlacc pit coming
Oh.
up and eating me, and then you would stay inside the tremor and be like, like it takes however many thousands of years to be digested. I was like, that is so horrifying. As a kid, I didn't want to go anywhere near. I was good at jumping from furniture to furniture, and so was my
Dude,
brother.
hot lava.
Practicing.
I
You gotta
guarantee my
practice.
brother had the same dreams. Yeah, hot lava. We played the hot lava game, but it was tremors. And
Tremors game, yeah.
Oh,
Hot
horrifying.
tremors. Hot tremors.
Hot tremors.
As an aside, there are. Have you seen any of the other Tremors movies
Yes,
since the first one?
They're hilarious. The flying one, the flying tremors.
Yeah, all of a sudden they could fly. That was number 3, I think, right?
Yeah,
they could
that's
fly.
Oh my
I think number
God.
2 was
is
when they
not
Going
like.
even
from
fair.
scary to hilarious.
Number 2 is
Yes.
they grew legs.
Yes.
Number 3 is when they could fly, and number 4 was when the guy with all the guns, he becomes the main
God.
character and just like saves the day.
Oh,
Dude, I actually
man.
thought his development on that character for the end, like being the lead thing, was pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he actually does a decent job. The movie was horrible, but he actually, I thought, did a pretty. He's like, I'm gonna be a lead. I'm a lead role now. Take it over.
I'm an action star.
Yeah, even though he was the fringe character in the
Yeah.
beginning, it's like
So
gun nut.
J-Lo.
So this is me.
What do you got?
As our patient and astute listeners will notice that we had a particular theme song in the beginning of this episode. It was from Nickelodeon's "Are You Afraid of the Dark," which was pretty formative for my fears. And the reason I was scared of the dark till I was like 16.
I'm so sorry for suggesting that was our intro today.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just
We're
like
all
I'm
freaked
only,
out.
like,
We're all
mildly
a little
triggered.
freaked
But the question, "Are you afraid of the dark?" I was absolutely afraid of the dark as a kid. I had and have and will probably continue to have a very, very vivid imagination, and my mind just takes off every once in a while. So as a kid, being afraid of the dark and not being able to actually see what's in those corners terrified the shit out of me. I hated the dark, and I carried a flashlight with me till I was like 8. Like 24 hours a day, I had a flashlight
Just
with
in
me.
case.
Just in case. Because you never fucking know when you're going to get locked in the dark and something's going to eat you.
Did that
Anything
happen?
can eat you.
JLo, did that happen to
Not
you
yet.
as a child?
Not yet.
No. I see you have a flashlight out right now.
I have a flashlight
can-
app, yes.
You can put that away. It's okay.
So like just in general, darkness and like so I had night lights for a long time. But if I want to go back to and pick a particular "Are You Afraid of the Dark" episode, that's still I still wake up with nightmares from this. I had a lot of nightmares. I was very vivid imagination and also very vivid dreams, and have and will continue to. And I'm lucid dreaming a fair amount of the time too, which is very fun. But there's a particular episode of "Are You Afraid of the Dark" that involves a dollhouse. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't want. I hate
Sarah
dolls.
does. Okay, so keep your ears plugged for now.
What happened in the dollhouse?
So in this
episode?
dollhouse episode, this girl goes to her as is tradition in a lot of the stories, she goes to a family friend's house for the summer, doesn't know them very well, and she finds a dollhouse in the attic. And the cousin that she has, who is the same age as her, who lives there, has gone missing.
What?
Yeah. So this is me trying to remember it as much as I can, as much as it scared me. Basically, this dollhouse took over her cousin / friend and was slowly turning her into a doll. And there's a very vivid.
No.
So like the makeup was, for me in my brain, still spot on for this girl just turning into a doll. And at one point, this girl actually loses her hand. Because it's ceramic, it's plastic, it's doll like, and her hand just pops off, and so the girl, the main protagonist of the story was joining in and was trying to save her cousin, and goes into this dollhouse, gets sucked in, and has to try to save her cousin while also being turned into a doll herself.
Oh my god!
So they have to escape through the attic. And that was a whole nother thing, because it was this weird, like, sort of warped lens image, and she was slowly starting to stiffen up and get more plastic as her cousin was already just basically dead weight, effectively. And then she had to jump out of this, and they land in the yard, and everything's fine, eventually, for the most part.
This show was so much more fucked up than I realized.
Dude, then you weren't paying attention. I'm sorry.
Having flashbacks
Can someone give me a thumbs
episode.
up if it's safe yet?
Yeah, we're not talking about dolls anymore.
Yeah, we're talking about the show in general.
Okay.
There's also a pinball episode.
Because let's just talk about the fact that we're talking about childhood nightmares, but my adult nightmares are actually of porcelain dolls.
Oh my
So
god.
That's rough.
that was not an okay
All right.
thing. Thank you.
Well, then let's fast
I'm
forward
back.
to listening to some
Submissions.
call-ins.
Yeah.
Hopefully
So
no
we've
one
got-
talks about dolls.
Or
What have I
clowns,
done?
apparently.
I can't believe I asked this
So
question.
it looks like we've got 4 submissions this week.
Yeah.
First one is going to be from Amanda.
Hey there, it's Amanda, calling from the Bone Cathedral. I'm calling in my childhood fear, which was cereal. When I was growing up in the 90s, there was always a serial killer on the news, and I thought that was someone who poisoned cereal.
There are very punny t-shirts
So
about
for
this.
3 years, I did not eat it. That's all. Thanks.
All right, so
I can understand that.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Amanda a really punny T-shirt.
I just love pun nightmares, I gotta say. any type of pun nightmare makes me very happy.
I'm a big fan of, I think, it's those homophones, words that sound the same but mean different things.
Yeah.
Cereal and
I'm
cereal.
a big fan of homophones and serial killer. I think there was a commercial at one point where there was like sumo wrestlers slamming themselves into each other to make like, it was like Lucky Charms or something like that. It was weird. It was like one of those things where like these 2 sumo wrestlers would
Golden Grams.
Golden Grams. Oh yes, exactly. It was Golden Grams. They would smash into each other and they would create more Golden Grams. I can imagine that happening to a person, and that would be a really crappy dream.
If you think you're going to be poisoned, I think
Sorry,
that's
Amanda.
a good reason to be afraid. Who do we have next?
Next we have B. Arthur.
All right.
Greetings, Arcadia National Podcast.
Greetings.
This is your friendly neighborhood B. Arthur calling in for this week's question of what gave you nightmares or what were you afraid of as a child? And this is my answer. I wasn't afraid of anything.
Yeah, come on.
I'm still not afraid of anything. I am the danger.
B. Arthur is the doll. B. Arthur is the elephant.
Is the danger. Is the serial
B. Arthur
killer.
is the serial killer.
Is the
But
dark.
if you know him
B. Arthur is the dark.
in
B.
real
Arthur.
life, he's just a little baby bumblebee.
Oh, nice.
Those,
No, really.
Those little baby
he has a
bumblebees
bee
will
costume.
sting
He's
you.
a little bee. He's a friendly little neighborhood bumblebee.
Beautiful.
Next up we have Andy.
All right.
Hi guys, so one of my scariest childhood moments comes from one particular scene from the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I would like to play that clip for you now.
God.
Remember me, Eddie? When I kill your brother, I talk. Yes!
Thanks. Have Pleasant dreams.
Oh my god.
That's pretty
This must
fucking
be
scary.
why I was not
Shit.
allowed to watch this movie when I was a kid.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit comes up constantly in my life, and I am so happy that it exists.
Are you as afraid of that as Andy?
It was pretty messed up to see that as a kid, because Judge Doom basically was on a rampage to end Toontown, and to find out at the end of the movie that he is in fact a Toon, and a Toon that could kill. And it's Christopher Lloyd, character actor Christopher Lloyd, and that watching the pieces of Toon pop through the Christopher Lloyd face, like the eyes and the it's pretty fucking wacky. Yeah. I can see that being a problem.
It reminds me of the Beetlejuice stuff with the pulling of the faces. That also freaked me out.
I
Like for some reason, open the
loved
face up, pull the eyes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice did not creep me out at all. Also, I watched Chucky as a child, and I was super okay with that.
What?
Fuck Chucky.
as being dolls.
No,
Don't
it's
eat the
like
kids.
porcelain dolls and the floaty eyeballs is what.
Oh, I
is
can
what,
handle
like,
that. But if Chucky pops up, I am out of here. I don't. That
Same.
is so scary.
I'm
We
weird.
have another call in.
Maybe I am too. I don't know.
Another call in from
have one
Jack
more?
Danger.
Yay!
Yeah.
Hey, you nerds, Jack Danger here. I have to say something that completely destroyed my childhood for a very long time was the idea and the concept and just the imagery and overall just evil nastiness of Freddy Krueger. The idea that you had no power over coming into contact with this dude. He was just going to get you. You had no say in the matter. But then, like, the Dream Warriors movie came out, and you're like, yes, there's a chance we can fight this dude. No, there's no stopping Freddy Krueger. You know, to this day, I still can't watch those damn movies. But I have to say, Rick and Morty, an awesome cartoon, did a really cool spoof on Freddy Krueger. They named him Scary Terry, and he just kept saying bitch after every sentence, and it was fantastic. Well, that's what scared the crap out of me. Peace out.
Peace out. Thank you.
You're
Jack.
my boyfriend now, bitch.
Oh my god.
To go back to what I was saying about like having vivid dreams. I had a lot of problems with the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I had a lot of problems with that after watching it accidentally.
I think I saw there was like maybe a Simpsons episode that was a spoof on that
There
I saw.
definitely was a
that I saw
Treehouse of
well
Horror episode.
before I ever saw the actual
Me too.
movie. So I
That
thought it
did
was
scare me.
fucking awesome. It didn't freak me out because that was wicked cool. I'm only afraid of elephants.
Oh, I see. I remember the Simpsons. I didn't see the movie for a long time because I knew it absolutely terrified me.
Yeah.
But I remember the Simpsons episode and being like, that seems kind of scary to me.
Yeah, to be able to be killed in your dreams.
Yeah,
and have it be
I don't
real
really
life.
like that.
You gotta stay
I hate
awake.
that. Man, what a fucking terrifying episode. Donate to kids. I'm sorry. Oh man. This is not going to be good thing I have more whiskey.
I think though that Jack taught us an important lesson here today,
Just
boys
say
and
bitch
girls,
after everything.
which is whatever your worst fear is. Imagine that saying "bitch" after everything, and then you just think, nope.
It's like Harry Potter,
No.
you know, anytime you got to fight a Bogart, just ridiculous it. Put a vulture hat on it.
Yeah,
Make it say bitch after everything.
you can't take it seriously.
Everything is saved.
Oh man. All right, so that was a pretty spoopy episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna get more.
We could end in a group cry, or
We could,
like,
or we could just get a little bit more philosophical for the next question.
Okay.
Or I think that would ease us out of this reverie
Okay.
a little bit.
I think that'll
So
be
our
good.
question for this episode is, how do we phrase this? So, what does it mean to be a nerd? Or what does it mean to be a nerd to you? So what is your definition of being a nerd? Is it comics? Is it movies? Is it you had a good insight on this, I think.
Is it that you persist in your obsession over one thing despite, total lack of validation from other people around you?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it that there's this one thing that you're so into that you are going to neglect your other responsibilities. I guess that's the definition of an addiction, but
Okay, clinician.
sorry. But that's those are the things that come to mind for me. But what comes to mind for you? What is the first thing you think of?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some friends who are mustard nerds. They're like super into collecting different kinds of mustard.
Yeah.
They have a whole mustard fridge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get the mustard.
Yeah, get the mustard.
They're mustard nerds.
Yeah.
It's just being like shamelessly like
Devoted.
okay with being obsessed with something that is not
Yeah.
mainstream.
But
Yeah.
does it need to be shameless? Like, people
Yeah, I think-
might be
I
nerds
think
about
this is
things
a-
that they
this
do
is
not
a
talk
great
about.
discussion to have once people get some call-ins.
Bring it on,
I don't
guys.
want to go too deep now because I know
Yeah.
we could talk for hours and hours on this. Give us your call-ins. What does it mean? What does it mean to be a nerd to you? Thanks for listening. This is J-Lo.
This is Amy.
This is Sarah.
William.
And be nerdy, whatever
Be
that means to
afraid.
you. Be afraid of the dark or not, whatever you want.
Don't go to sleep.
We're gonna get you.
Eat cereal, watch movies, be dark. I don't know.
Be you.
Play more games, play more pinball, read more stuff. Have a good week, everyone. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Arcadia National Podcast was recorded in the basement of Arcadia National Bar. Our theme music is by Toon Food. Amanda and Andy hit the record button. We're not yet sponsored by Arby's, but hey, if you like what you're listening to, tell a friend, tell a roommate, tell a spouse, write a review on whatever site you're listening to, and hey, tell someone you love about us and we'll love you back.